Is it filmed?
So we have,
it is
yeah,
filmed.
we have this camera.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This camera, and we have their camera also.
That's amazing.
I think we have one more, but I don't know.
And is he
where it
control?
is.
Are you controlling all the cameras?
Only the audio.
Yeah, the audio.
Ah, so the
Outside is Daisy sitting,
and she's controlling the
and she's
cameras.
cutting too.
Hi, Daisy. Hello, Daisy. Shake the camera on the left, Daisy. Shake the camera. Oh!
She does.
Daisy! What amazing capabilities you have.
Perfect. Okay, Justin, let's start.
That
I
was
look in
actually-
that
was
camera
actually
now.
really cool,
We look
Daisy.
to Daisy now, all right?
That's
okay.
so funny.
And I say hello and welcome, Justin Jesso.
Thanks for having me.
And I say congratulations to your new single who came out last Friday, is that
yes,
right?
thank you.
With SeeB.
With
And
SeeB.
SeeB, is that, am I pronouncing it right? Or is
Yes.
it SeeB? No, it's SeeB.
SeeB.
Maybe in Norwegian it's SeeB?
Maybe.
No.
Well, do you know what's
we
interesting
stick
is
with-
Kygo in Norwegian is actually Kygo.
Yeah, and his name is Kyrre.
Is
It's
Kyrre.
so complicated. Kyrre.
But if you're Norwegian, you call him Shire. So his family calls him Shire. A lot of his friends call him Kyrre.
Kyrre
Yeah.
and Kyrre.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm just Justin Jesso. There's no...
That's a good name. Actually,
There's no
there's
other.
a story behind that name, right? I didn't want to ask that, but
Yeah.
if you want to tell it, you
No,
can.
sure. So my last name, Jesso, is my great-grandfather's nickname. He was a band leader in the 20s and used to play piano for Al Capone, who was a big gangster in Chicago in the 20s.
And did he...
Do I have mob connections?
Yeah, do you have connections?
I do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so if
I
this
can
interview goes
imagine that.
poorly-
I mean, you drink tea and coffee, so
At the
there's
same
something
time.
with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I actually wanted to ask was about the singer Bigger Than.
Yes.
And you sing, the lyrics go, I want a life that's bigger than all of the houses I want to buy for my friends, a life that's bigger than all the fears I have. And I want to know, does your life actually feel big at the moment?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think my life does feel big at the moment. But, for me, the song is about being bigger than your doubts and your anxieties and the things that cripple you, and doing the right thing and living a life that you're proud of, and being around the people that you love and treating them correctly. And, one of the other lyrics is, I'll look back and want to be remembered for what I did, not what I had. Mm-hmm. And it's not about what you have. It's not about the houses. It's not about the material things. It's about how you spend your time and who you spend it with. And yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. Would you say you're good at coping with your fears and doubts?
I think
you a
I am
person,
now.
Like, when I watch interviews with you, you seem like someone who shines and who laughs
Aw,
a lot and
thanks.
who has a positive energy. So is that...
It's all a lie.
It's all a lie. Maybe it is.
I mean, to an extent, not that it's a lie, but some of it is, I think...
It's a masquerade.
Well, that's how I want to be, right? So I try to be that way because that's how I want to be. Mm-hmm. Funnily enough, I'm about to do this thing called the Bigger Than Challenge, where I'm releasing a video where I ask people to share with me what they think they're bigger than, what they feel that they've overcome in their life. For me, it was depression. I had, really bad anxiety and depression, and still do. But in a couple of years ago was when it was really, really bad and very painful, and it was difficult to get out of bed. And I had to work really hard and got the help that I needed, but I worked really hard to keep that in check. And every day still now I work very hard to keep my depression and my anxiety in check. And one of the ways that I do that is just by knowing that it's there. Mm-hmm. Because if I know that it's there, I can self-correct to a point. I mean, there are still days where it gets me and I feel like I need to stay in bed all day. But if I know what's happening to myself, to my body, if I know that I'm going down that spiral, I can more easily get out of it.
Mm-hmm. You're accepting it.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to push it away, but you're accepting it.
Yeah.
And that makes it not as big anymore.
Right.
And it's good
it
that you're
minimizes
talking
it.
about it, because I read an article about male pop stars who really just talk about these kind of things. And I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, they were talking about drug parties and some stories with women, and now they actually can talk about serious stuff like that too, and I think that's good.
Maybe
It's
it
not
was
only
the
good for
drug
them,
parties
but for
and
everybody.
and the stuff with women that gave them that depression.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's good. I you know, my friend, I've seen Ari Lauv talk about it a bunch.
Yes. Mhm.
And you know, that was really inspiring to me. And you know, this song Bigger Than I started writing about 2 years ago, and it was being in touch with those feelings and understanding that I started with the lyric, I don't want to end up in a hospital room holding nobody's hand, and that's where the song starts as well. And it was kind of just this, I was having an existential day, and I wanted to share this message of being bigger than your fears and doing the right thing and living a life that is good and giving back. And, you know, I wanted to do that in a way that didn't feel preachy, and didn't feel too trite. And this is what me and my collaborators came up with. But yeah, no, it's definitely helpful for me and hopefully helpful for other people to talk about it. But I also, like, I'm aware, I don't want to seem like it's I'm, it's not like I want to be on the platform, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to be a symbol for
No,
anything,
I don't want to be a symbol for
yeah,
it. I just like, this is my truth. This is what I feel. This is what I've dealt with. And if it helps other people through the music or through me talking about it, then great. You know, maybe it doesn't. But yeah, sorry.
Would you, don't say sorry. Would you recommend your life, how it is at the moment, to other people or to yourself?
Would I recommend my life?
Would you recommend your life?
Would I say, like, you should do this?
No, someone has the chance to live your life, and would you say,
Would I say do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed. I have a good time. I've got a lot of love in my life. I've got some great friends. I've got great family. For those reasons alone, yeah, it would be nice to live my life.
That's good.
Great support system. You know, the fact that I get to do what I love and play my music, and that people are responding to it and listening is a bonus. But yeah, no. What about you? Should we live your life?
I don't know. That's a hard question, actually. I don't want to ask it myself.
I mean, we all have our problems.
I mean, is it about would I recommend the way I live my life?
Okay.
And there are some things I would change, obviously.
Like what?
But if you say, like, you have friends, you have a bed you can sleep in, and then I would say, yes, of course. Yeah, actually, my life is good. Yeah.
So should we trade for a day? I'll interview you.
Don't do that.
That'll be the flip. We could just do it really nicely.
It won't be
here.
too interesting, Justin.
I'm sure it is very
interesting.
interesting.
I don't even drink coffee or
Oh
tea
my
together,
gosh.
so I'm not interested.
Not
you
interesting.
know?
If she doesn't drink
No.
coffee or tea, she's not interesting.
Okay. Can I ask one more question?
Who's interviewing?
Can we switch?
Who's
Can we
interviewing?
switch again, please?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Who came up with the idea for Bigger Than? Was it you or was it the boys from SeeB?
Why
are you
was
laughing?
well, because that requires me to diminish somebody's role in the song. This is a song that I started writing about 2 years ago. So I came up with the lyric, I don't want to end up in a hospital room holding nobody's hand. And I brought that and a handful of other lyrics into a friend of mine named Fernando Garibay. And he and I started writing the song together. And actually, Bigger Than the Fears I Have as a line didn't come until about 8 months later. So I've been working on the song with Fernando, changing lyrics and changing melodies and changing the vibe and the tone of it for, about 6 to 8 months before we locked in on the lyric. And after that, because I felt like the lyric was so powerful and could come across as heavy or preachy or trite, I didn't want that to be what people took away from it. So then we started chipping away at the production. And this has actually gone through 5 or 6 rounds of different production. And I ended up bringing it to a friend of mine named Petey Martin, who I did Getting Closer with, who flipped the production on its head. And at that point, it started to kind of click in the right way, production-wise. The other versions were great, but there was something from it that was lacking. When I brought it to him, he kind of found that thing and flipped it on its head. And then after that, we sent it to SeeB, who brought it the rest of the way home, and decided to jump on the record with me. So it was a combination of all of those factors that got this song to where it is. Including Petey, including SeeB, including Fernando, and I'm grateful to all of them for their contributions to the record.
So songwriting is a big thing with you. You started writing songs at a young age, then later you wrote for other artists, and this talent of writing is a gift that's given to you. Would you say you've developed your own handwriting? Like, do colleagues say they hear a song and they can tell this is a Justin Jesso song?
Some do, yes.
And how?
Well, I like the term. It's certainly in this kind of like pop dance crossover space. I like the term emotional banger. So I feel like if you're hearing a song and it's kind of got that dance pop vibe, which isn't really what I do. I'm really a singer-songwriter, but I've landed in this dance pop world with Kygos and Stargazing and Bigger Than has a bit of that vibe with SeeB, and even Getting Closer has a bit of that. It's that I like really, really heavily emotional things, heavily emotional melodies, heavily emotional lyrics, and that's what I strive to write. But for me, developing that it wasn't really a talent. It was more of a developed skill. And songwriting is to me more of a craft. So I went to college for it. I went to NYU, to the Clive Davis Department of Recorded Music. I studied songwriting. I've been in sessions almost every day for the past however many years. Like, I really put in 10,000 hours to learn how to write a good lyric, write a sticky melody. That's an acquired skill that I think if you have a desire and a bit of talent for songwriting, you can develop into a great songwriter.
And you are also lucky enough to have a great voice, so you can do both. You can sing and you can write.
Thanks.
What is more common, like being an outstanding writer but an average singer, or being an amazing singer but a terrible writer?
I don't know if there's one that's more common. I mean,
Which people did you get to know?
Which would it be better to get to know?
Which version did you get to know more often?
So I was a better singer and a terrible songwriter. Okay. And I took a class in college with a guy who wrote, the song, waited till I saw the sun, don't know why I didn't come. Yeah, you have a nice voice.
Thank you.
I actually forgot the guy's name, but he wrote that song.
It's Norah Jones.
Norah Jones,
yes.
Yeah. So he wrote that song, and I played him a song on the piano, and I think it was called Clear. And he stopped me halfway through and said, "Your voice is fantastic. You can sing the phone book. You sound great. However, that doesn't mean that this song is any good." It's like, the song is good, but you're going to have to fight your entire career to make sure that you don't settle on something that just sounds good, because you're going to be able to mask a bad lyric or a bad melody with the way that you sing it. And so you need to not do that in order to become a better songwriter. And so ever since that happened to me, I started really focusing on, well, is this the right melody? Is this as catchy as it could be? Is this the right lyric? Is this as deep as it could be? Is this as poignant? Is this as picturesque? Does this tell a story? Or am I just padding words in there so that I can sing them?
But you have a feeling for melodies, like this talent is given to you. I don't think that anybody could write a good song. Of course, it's hard work. Of course, you have to learn
but I think
skills.
I think you can learn how to write
like music
a good
theory
song.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you have to have the feeling.
Yeah, it's a combination.
Yes.
But I could teach you how to be a decent songwriter.
You would do that?
Yeah.
I was actually looking for songwriter sessions in Mannheim because we have the Pop Academy.
Oh, yeah?
It's a very good school. I don't know if you know Alice Merton. Maybe
yeah,
she
Roots, right?
Yes, right. She went to Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel, I think, this year, and she went to that school.
Oh, wow.
But they don't have workshops, so I don't know.
maybe we need to start a workshop program
Yes, you should.
to teach kids how to be better songwriters.
Yes, you should do that. All right, and we do that, Justin. Yeah, and you once told, let's stick with this songwriter thing. You said in interviews that you want to touch people emotionally. I mean, everybody does. Everybody wants to do that.
Touch people emotionally.
Emotionally?
Emotionally.
Did I say that correct?
Yeah, I want to touch people not physically.
Not.
I don't. I mean, also physically,
maybe
but like
physically too,
not
yeah.
in a creepy way.
Would you say that this is touching people emotionally, that this is only fully possible if your lyrics are autobiographic? So if it's personal? Or would you say you could tell any story and touch people?
I think it's more about how the story affects them. I think it's easier for it to be effective if the story is autobiographical because it resonated or resonates or comes from me. I try to write every song from an autobiographical place. However, at the end of the day, it's about does this lyric resonate with you? And, you know, if I hear a story that you tell me about, you know, your feelings or your terrible breakup with an ex or, you know, your struggles, I can probably translate that into a song. And because it connects with you and because it connects with me, because I probably have experienced those same emotions and have those same human qualities, it will most likely translate to another audience. And that's what I would do sometimes when I was in the room with an artist as a writer specifically for their project. But most of the time, I'm not in a room with another artist writing for them. So I do tend to write from my own experiences. But even if that artist, even if we're writing from their experience, at the end of the day, I still have to find the through line in my own experiences in order to be able to write about it effectively.
So would you say you're more a storyteller or rather self-therapist? Like probably
It depends on
second.
the day. It depends on the day. I definitely feel like I'm a storyteller through the music that I write. But sometimes it turns into a therapy session. A lot of times it turns into a therapy session for me. Like I'll be in with a writer and I'll be like, I'm having the worst day. I'm feeling this way, or, my ex just left me and or my ex left me 3 years ago and I still feel this way about it. Like, what does this mean? Why can't I open up to my current significant other? Yes, a lot of times it turns into a therapy session.
But isn't that the most beautiful thing about art, that you can have bad days and you have to have bad days to put it into your work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the best job you can have, actually.
Yeah, it's all fuel.
So it's allowed to be in a bad mood.
Well, I'm not allowed to be in a bad mood, because I have this thing with people that I've seen is that like I don't want them to be in a bad mood with me, right? So I'm not allowed to be in a bad mood with them.
You don't want them to be in a bad mood?
Yeah.
Just so that you feel better because you don't feel good around people who are in a bad mood?
No.
And you think you have to do the same for them?
It's about if you're in a bad mood, like if we're dating and you're in a bad mood,
Yes.
that's okay. But I would want you to feel better, and I wouldn't want you to take that out on me. Just like
So
the
you
reverse.
think it's on you if I have bad mood, and then you give yourself the fault for that?
No, it's
Is that
more.
what you mean?
It's. I feel like I'm gonna get into trouble. It's more the
No, you're
idea
not.
that like, if I'm in a bad mood, I'm
Yeah.
gonna work really hard to make sure that my bad mood doesn't affect you. And I want the same from my significant other. Is that if you were in a bad mood, even just saying it to me like, "Hey, I'm in a really bad mood," then I'll know. But I think it's always better to try to be happy, to practice being happy.
That's true, but I also think sometimes you can allow yourself to
You
not
can.
be happy.
You can allow
because if
yes, that's true.
everybody is pretending to be happy, then actually everybody feels worse.
Well, hopefully you're not pretending. Hopefully you actually are.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
Okay,
Sometimes, but not now.
That's fair.
Okay. Perfect, Justin. Yeah, when I did my research before the interview, I watched some live performances on YouTube from you.
Cool.
And I thought that is your superpower because you can I don't know how it's called. It's contagious watching you perform because you
thank
do it
you.
with such joy and such power. And yeah, it's very fun watching you.
Thank you. It's fun doing it.
Yeah, I see that. And I watched iHeartRadio Music Festival live with Kygo a year ago. Then ZDF TV Garden in September this year. I think there was you were there 2 times.
Yeah, Fernsehgarten. Yeah.
Fernsehgarten,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Stargazing in the orchestral version, which gave me goosebumps everywhere. It was so good.
That was such a cool experience.
Are you actually getting goosebumps yourself sometimes when you stand on stage and perform?
Yeah.
Because it's so
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. Thank you. 100%. I mean, I hope to feel at every performance, you know, that I'm emotionally invested in the performance. Sometimes it's a blur. Sometimes it's hard to know if I'm doing it or not. But that I try to give it everything I have.
Are you watching your own performances afterwards?
Yes, usually I do, but not because I love watching myself. It's more to be critical of what I did and see how I can do it better. So like I'll watch, you know, if someone videotapes a performance of mine, then I'll watch it back to be like, okay, am I getting that right? Do I need to tweak this section? You know, did that pause here work?
What's your biggest fear?
In life?
No, on stage. Like when you watch yourself afterwards, that you sing that there was a false. How do you call it?
No, because like you can get through.
Or that you don't look good, or that you're not funny enough,
You
or
can
not.
get through all of that. My biggest fear on stage is not connecting with the audience.
Okay.
Just in general, and a lot of those things can build up to not connecting with the audience. But usually the flaws are what make it kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like if my voice cracks in the middle of a song, it's like, okay, well, he's human. You know what I mean? Like that's not so bad.
Okay.
You know, but to me, do I connect? Do they walk away going, you know, wow, I felt something?
Okay.
And if the answer is no, that's what I'm most scared of. That and, you know, like pulling a Lenny Kravitz and having my pants rip and my dick fall out in the middle of a concert.
Did you have that situation already?
I have never had that. Well, I had my pants rip in the back, but not in the front.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wear underwear.
In the back, it's fine.
In the back,
just
it's
for
fine.
The band.
Yeah. Yeah, the band gets a view.
All right. Yeah, there's this actually stupid phrase. It says, "You made it." Everybody knows what to think about that. You made it. Did you get to that point already, or do you actually want to get to that point where you say, "I made it"?
I've made it only to a certain extent. I've made it where I'm lucky enough to have a career in the music industry. I can make a living. I can survive in the music industry, and that's a really great accomplishment. I made it as a writer when I got a publishing deal, you know, and I was like, wow, I have money, enough money to live. It wasn't much, but it was enough that I could support myself for like a year. And then once I got, you know, once I don't know when I could pinpoint like when I made it.
No matter how long this lasts, but
But I haven't made it to the point that I want to be at.
Okay, and where is that point?
I would love to just play bigger shows and honestly, I want to be able to do this when I'm 80. So for me, I haven't achieved any sort of real sustainability with it, to the point where like I know that I could do this for the rest of my life and people will still show up to my show when I'm 80. And that's what I want to get to, like Tony Bennett style, you know, where I can just continue to tour and go and release music.
And if you would continue writing, like Justin Jesso is famous for the next 2 years, and then somehow you're just a songwriter again, would you be happy with that for the rest of your life? No, you want to perform your own songs.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Stargazing came out 2 years ago. How do you feel about that song now? It's a little distance.
No, it's not. Actually, I will forever love that song. I don't know what it is, because I thought so too, that like at some point I'd get bored. I've probably sung it. I mean, it's 2 years old. I've probably sung it in concert in various venues with Kygo, without Kygo, acoustically, for radios. Like I've probably done it maybe 200-300 times at this point. And I don't know. It doesn't get old to me. I still love doing it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Your job makes you travel the world. We're sitting here now. You're on promo tour.
I'm trying the tea now.
Yeah, try the tea. Did you put sugar in there too?
No, just honey. Honey and hot water. I'm trying the tea
That's better
while
tea.
we spill the tea. Do you know that expression?
No.
Spilling the tea?
What-
it means
what
like
does that
the
mean?
gossip.
Oh.
Like spilling tea.
Do
Oh,
you
they
have some
spill
gossip?
tea. Well, we are I mean,
It's
who,
not
who do you want to
gossip.
know about?
It's not gossip. I don't know. Do you have gossip?
Well, no, like good gossip, not like bad gossip.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, we're
Yeah,
spilling
well,
the tea. We're
that's
telling
boring.
about.
Good gossip. Gossip is boring.
No, it's like learning about you. That's good.
Okay, but that's not gossip. That's getting to know each other.
Okay, we're getting to know each
Yeah.
other. We're spilling each other's tea.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Okay. What I wanted to say was that you see a lot of different places and meeting a lot of interesting people. And then you come home again, Chicago, right?
I'm from Chicago
You're from
originally.
Chicago?
I live in Los Angeles.
You live in Los Angeles. Okay,
Yeah.
you come home to Los Angeles. Or where's your family?
My family's in Chicago and Florida.
Okay, so you come to Chicago.
So I spend more time when I'm going to see my family, we go to Florida because my father was diagnosed with cancer a couple years ago. He's
Okay.
good now. He beat it. He beat it twice actually, but he moved to a warmer climate because it was better for him. So our family house is in Florida. So that's where if I'm going to, like for the holidays, I'll be in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you come back to Florida, and then your family asks you about what you've seen and what happened to you, and what's their favorite story from all your travels and from the tour life. Like, what do they always want to hear? Or what was the best story you told them?
What was the best story I told my parents from tour? I don't know. I mean, one of my favorites. I've had a couple of favorites from tour. One of them was the Ziget Festival in Budapest, which it was like the biggest festival that I had ever played with Kygo. And Shawn Mendes did the show right before us, and then we closed the night, and just the crowd energy was insane. And I slid on stage and like skinned my knee, and then afterwards I was bleeding everywhere, but it was okay because like me and Kira and Sean went and like tended bar for all the people that were working the festival, which was fun and crazy. And another really fun one was doing the United Center in Chicago. When I said, you know, "Hi, I'm Justin Jesso, and this is my hometown," the entire floor. So like I'd never seen, because people just started jumping, but not together. They were all jumping separately. So the entire floor of the stadium just went like this. It was so cool.
And
yeah,
this is what you told your parents, or how did you tell your parents that?
like that.
Like that.
I was like, the
It
whole
was so
floor just
cool.
started. It was so cool. The whole floor just started shaking. But the show that I was also really excited about on my last tour that I did myself was the Berlin show. We did a little tour around Europe, and the Berlin show, for some reason, the energy at that show was just insane. I mean, a silly little story. It was in Munich. Somebody brought me a bunch of gifts. It's like one of my fans brought me a bunch of gifts, and really lovely guy named Matt. And he stuffed the gifts in a box, and in that box he had confetti, like paper confetti in the box. So I was really excited about getting the gifts and whatever, but I was more excited because what I did was I took the confetti and I threw it out at the audience on the last song. And it was so much fun, but it was like really cheaply done. You know what I mean? It was like,
You were just doing this.
yeah, I was just like, guys, and we have confetti, and we took a fan, and we set the
with a
fan up.
fan. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we had a
fancy,
fan,
yeah.
and then we had one of the guys that was running the machine, because I have a playback guy who pushes play and a bunch of different stuff. So he came over and he manned the fan and was like chucking confetti
Yeah.
into the fan. Yeah, it was great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. Last question. What are your next steps? I mean, Christmas, and
In
are
life?
you celebrating with your family Christmas, or how do you celebrate on
Yeah,
Christmas Eve?
I will. Well, I'm going back for Thanksgiving, which is
Mm-hmm.
next week. So I will be in Florida for that. And my best friend, who I haven't seen in a while, is going to come and hang out with me. And then Christmas, I have a private thing with Kygo right before the holidays, and then from there I'll go to Florida for Christmas. And then after that, I don't think I'm allowed to announce it yet, but I might be playing a really big show in Germany on New Year's.
On New Year's.
Yeah. But I'm not allowed to say anything yet, so I didn't say anything.
No, you didn't say anything.
No.
We didn't hear anything.
No.
Okay. Really last question,
Yeah.
Justin. You could be the big boss of music business for a period of time. What would you change?
Like now, or
Now or whenever you want.
what would
you
I
could
change?
now be the big boss of
If
music
I was the big
business.
boss of the music industry now,
Yeah.
what would I change? I'd pay songwriters more.
All right.
I would take, because the balance of how songwriters get paid is very lopsided. Producers make their money, they get a part of the master, they get their fees up front. Songwriters don't get fees up front, and they don't get a part of the master. It's incredibly lopsided and quite frankly, incredibly unfair. And it's not against the producers. The producers are great, they should still get that money. But there should be some sort of compromise from the label side that pays songwriters better. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Justin. We wish you
Thank
all the
you.
best. Thanks.
Dankeschön.